All right, I'm flying solo today, and we're going to look at the week in review. Nothing too spectacular. I'm going to be honest with you. Stick around, find out what went on this week. Okay, so minimal hunting this week. If you watched my last video, you know what my targets were, and I did get a few of them. I did devote a day or two to hunting this week. And I go into this store, and I know it's their delivery day, and I know what I'm looking for. I know what's in the area, so I'm very specific. I start off by asking, do you have the Penelope Rio? Yes. Unfortunately, they only had a handful of bottles, and the owner was keeping one for himself and had the others earmarked for friends. So that was a no-go. But I don't want to be deterred. So I ask, do you have the Michter's Barrel Strength Rye? And they're like, yes. And so they were willing to sell me that. So this guy right here, Michter's Barrel Strength Rye, and this is coming in at 109.6 proof. I kind of found it odd that they were willing to sell me this, but not the Penelope Rio. I guess the Rio is more popular, but say the whiskey drinker would probably prefer this. And maybe the collector. I like them both. So, not deterred. I bought that bottle. I was happy. And I go to another store. I go in this store, and I see the manager that I know, and I see a sales rep for Uncle Nearest. I go up to them. I don't want to totally interrupt them because they're conducting business. And I go to the sales rep. I go, hey, I know you. And she remembered me from another meetup. So we had a brief conversation. And then I kind of just segue into the manager. Hey, by any chance, did you get the Penelope Rio? He's like, yeah, I did. I got it in back. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll just take a look at your shelves. So, he did his business, and then he comes out with it, and I got one, okay? And this is batch 24901. So now I have 23902 and 24901. I do not have the inaugural release of 23-901. So there's 3 batches out there for your information. So that was a pretty good day. I got those 2 bottles. Now, I'll put these on the side. As those of you know in the whiskey tube community, Dave Vogelsang is an awesome friend of the community, and he likes to sample or give samples out to whiskey tubers. I really appreciate your generosity, Dave, and I feel I have to reciprocate. No, I don't feel like I have to. It's just in my nature that I have to reciprocate. So I did send him some bottles. I shot a video on my shelves, and I asked him what he wanted. And I hope you enjoy those pours. I also sent him a Glen Cairn. We'll pause this video. And you're not going to be able to see it, but I sent him a Glen gift. And so he sent me an email saying he went to Kentucky, and he sent me photos of what he had. So I'll put those photos below. And I don't know how many bottles there were, a dozen, 16, 20, you'll see them below. And I'm looking them over, and I'm doing some research, and, I love them all. He usually ships out a dozen samples. So I'm looking, and I picked out 8 that I was really interested in. And then I'm like, you know what? The other 4 you pick for me. You just send me something you think that I should have or that's interesting. And I'm cool with that because you know what? Whatever anyone sends me, I'm very appreciative. And because they don't have to do that. So let's take a look at what we got here. Old Louisville Whiskey Company Bourbon Whiskey Uncut 114 proof. Now, this is one that I selected. I researched this and this just sounded awesome. So I picked that one out. Buffalo Trace Kosher Bourbon Whiskey Wheated Recipe 94 proof. I did not pick this one out. He chose this one for me, and this one does sound interesting to me. Thanks, Dave. Willet, aged 8 years, Bourbon Whiskey Wheated Purple Top 108 proof. I have a Willet Purple Top, but it is the rye version, so I'm interested to try this wheated version. And we will put these in the blind sample pool. New Riff, aged 8 years, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 100 proof. So I picked out those last two, the Willet and this New Riff. You can go back and look at the photos he sent and say like, oh man, you should have picked this one out. Buffalo Trace Kosher Bourbon Whiskey Rye Recipe 94 proof. Again, this is one he picked out for me. He's got like probably at least twice as much as I do. I should, did it symmetrical. It's not like me. Overhold aged 4 years rye whiskey, the Manangala Gila Mash 95 proof. I did see Jason C. review this and it sounded interesting. I know I don't know how to say that. That's one of the 3 rivers in Pittsburgh. I know that. I just can't pronounce it. Southern Collective Spirit Company Alley Oop Bourbon Whiskey 125 proof. This interested me because I saw a video, I believe it's Bill and Dara did it, and they did a tour of the distillery and it sounded awesome. So when I saw that, I'm like, that's one I want. Glens Creek Distilling, it's S-Wheat Bourbon Whiskey 100 proof. And I researched that, and there's a story behind the S-Wheat. They hired a marketing team, paid them $20, so you get what you pay for. And when they came back for the name of it, they just had S-Wheat next to it. And they're like, okay, we're going to keep that. Pursuit United Double Oaked Bourbon Whiskey Sealbox Pick, 108 proof. I don't have anything by Pursuit United, and we do love Double Oaked. I picked that one out. Lost Lantern Brooklyn Bakery Kings County Distillery 2023 edition, 133 proof. I don't have any thing from the Lost Lantern, but I do have some Kings County, and I do like their stuff, so this should be interesting. I'll probably like this. Deb, probably not so much. Augusta Old Root 8, aged 8 years, Bourbon Whiskey, JHOB pick, 131.8 proof. All right, I picked that one out. I see this on the Ohio website a lot, and if I like it, I'll grab it. One more. Oh, and he picked this one out for me. Foregate Triple Oak, aged 7 years, straight whiskey, 107.6 proof. That's one of my regrets when we went to Kentucky, is not spending the money on a Foregate because they're pricey. So, awesome samples, Dave. Thank you very much. So I got these 2 bottles and some awesome samples from Dave. And, well, Thursday night we went to an event at Hartman's Distillery, and it was pretty cool. Now you can't see my head because, but you can see the shirt. got a little swag, because they said you're going to get a swag bag. And where did I put it? Oh, here it is. And we got a Milam and Greene mini Glencairn. We probably could have took, you know, about a dozen of them, but we just took one each because, you know, no sense being that way. And this, they had a representative from Milam and Greene there at Hartman's in their speakeasy. Now, I was never in their speakeasy, and I thought it was really, 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 really cool. I was looking at the bottles, and they had some crazy stuff there, a couple birthday bourbons, you know, obviously all the high-end VTACs and Pappies and, you know, anything you'd want. And then they had some vintage Weller Special Reserves. You know what I'm talking about in that crazy bottle. A lot of stuff there. Unfortunately, I didn't try any because we had a cocktail and we were supposed to have 3 pours, but we ended up having 6 or 7 from Milam and Greene. And I was like, you know, that's more than enough. The whiskey was good. Deb wanted to buy a bottle while we're there. I'm like, listen, let's just wait and get it from a liquor store that we go to a lot if you really want it, because I think this was a I'm feeling kind of good purchase. Really don't, you know, it is good, but it's nothing that I have to have. I mean, I have a lot of whiskey here. The rye, which they put in the cocktail, sounds really good, and they're really known for their rye. I wish I could have tried the rye just straight, neat, but that didn't happen. So if you're ever in Buffalo, Hartman's Distilling, they have the regular bar area where you can order food. They actually have like a distillery section. And then I think an outdoor, but the speakeasy is kind of hidden away, back room, you know, cloak and dagger kind of stuff, hidden behind a curtain. It's really casual, really cool. I highly recommend. I do have an event on Sunday, and hopefully I will be coming home with some awesome bottles. We'll see. Still looking for that Weller single barrel. It is supposed to be dropping in the area, so that's my next target. Looks like I'm passing on the Heaven Hill 18, even though I got it for just a shade over MSRP. You know, the reviews weren't that great, and I can't see spending, you know, $315 on a bottle just because it's highly coveted. And when I drink it, I may or may not enjoy it. You know, the tasting notes didn't sound really up my alley. I could change my mind, but I don't think so. We'll see how Sunday goes at this event and what type of money I spend there, I guess. Well, thank you for watching. And happy hunting. Enjoyed the video, smash the like button, leave a comment below, and subscribe to our station.